This video is sponsored by the Kohinoor diamond, which belongs to India but now sits in a British museum. What's up guys? Welcome back to Honest Cooks Presents Celeb Recipes, a series where we recreate favorite foods of our favorite celebrities. Today, in the third episode, we are visiting the royal kitchens of the Buckingham Palace as we recreate Lady Diana's favorite dish. You may be thinking that a princess's favorite food would be something indulgent and decadent, artistically cooked by an army of royal chefs in the royal kitchen. Well, that's not entirely accurate. This dish is every bit royal, but it is also so light and fresh and very easy to make that I'm a teensy bit surprised no one's attempted this on YouTube before. I am talking about tomato and dill mousse with lobster tail and watercress salad. This is my version of the royal recipe from the book Eating Royally by Chef Darren McGrady. As delicious as it sounds, it's also very easy to put together, so let's get started. We'll start with the tomato and dill mousse, and I'm making enough today to have a few extra ones in case a couple fall apart when I unmold these towards the end. Once the onions and tomatoes are roughly chopped, we'll pulse this in a blender. We are looking for a fine paste, so let the blender do its job for a good couple minutes when you replicate this recipe. The royal chef, Chef Darren McGrady's recipe, doesn't say anything about cooking this at all, so we'll strain this and get rid of all the pulp. The goal is to flavor the mousse with this tomato juice, so push out all the juice as much as you can and then discard the fibers. Lady Diana was quite mindful of her fat intake, and the original royal recipe is completely fat-free. My version is also a fat-free recipe. Well, for the most part it is. So use fat-free sour cream. I couldn't get my hands on fat-free mayonnaise, so I'm using the regular kind. A tiny splash of full-fat heavy cream. Give it a good mix and set it aside as we prep the gelatin. I'm measuring out 3 grams of gelatin, which needs to be bloomed first. You'll have to follow packet instructions for this step really. Stir to get the lumps out and transfer to a pot on medium heat with some more water. When testing the recipe for the first time, I really did not think this mousse would appeal to my taste buds, but it was quite pleasantly flavored actually. Finely chopped dill adds a nice fresh touch. Even just a few sprigs will make a huge difference. And of course, salt to bind all the other flavors together. Once the gelatin is incorporated and the mousse is seasoned, let's portion this into the ramekins. Set it in the fridge for about 2 hours. Do not cover it or else it will begin to sweat and it will not set properly. Mine was perfectly set in about 2 hours, but if you think you may feel anxious when you have to unmold this, it's best to set it overnight when you replicate the recipe. Right after portioning it, I'm going to pop this in the fridge. When you do this, try to look for a space where you don't have to move it around in the fridge a lot. Are you looking at the 2 full containers of Thai chilies in the back? Well, I'm going to freeze them. And if my statement has you questioning reality, boy do I have news for you. Check out the green chilies hack linked at the end of this video. While the mousse is setting, let's cook the lobsters. The official royal recipe is titled Lobster Tails, so we are using just the tails today. In order to cook my lobster tails, I'm going to place my very cool steamer plate over here, right over this boiling water. If you want to buy this collapsible steamer plate, I will link it in the description. Just place the tails and cover to cook. The seasoning will be taken care of later on. For now, enjoy this tiny lobster time lapse. As soon as the tails curl, place them in ice water to prevent overcooking. This dish is served room temperature, so we don't really have to worry about reheating the tails. Easy, isn't it? Well, I don't want to say I told you so. So let's just deshell the lobster. Now for the fun part. Let's remove the shells. You'll see a tiny gap between the flesh and the shell. Insert your kitchen shears and just cut right down the imaginary spine. Go about halfway. I'm trying to do this as gracefully as possible while making sure I stay in the camera's frame. Once you're halfway there, place the tail flat and pop the shell inwards. Trust me, you'll hear it pop. Cut some more if you need to, but a well-cooked lobster tail should slide right out with a wiggle or two. Once your tail, well, not your tail, the lobster tail, once the lobster tail is free from the shell, make an incision all along the imaginary spine, but not too deep. This is just for presentation purposes, so you can avoid it if you don't want to do this. Okay, once more. A little bit closer and a lot faster. Cut, 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 pop, pop, wiggle, and lobster tail. Lobster is ready, but we still need to season it, remember? For that, let's use extra virgin olive oil with a very generous portion of lime juice or lemon juice and some salt, and we'll stir to combine. Toss the tails in this ultra-light dressing. Save the remaining dressing for the watercress salad. Watercress salad is just watercress leaves, washed and dried of course, which are then tossed in this dressing. This is a very simple salad. It really allows the watercress to shine with this simple dressing. Alright, we're almost done here. Let's unmold the mousse. I know mine is set because it no longer looks wet and it has a nice jiggle. To unmold anything that I set with gelatin, I use warm water to slightly loosen the edges first, and then run a knife or an offset spatula around it. Don't be afraid to put it in the warm water again if you need to, then invert it on a plate. Confidence is key here. Do it really quickly, and remember, you are the boss.
I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the boss.
To complete the plate, place one lobster tail right next to the mousse and some salad on top of it. Here we go. This is my version of Lady Diana's favorite tomato dill mousse with lobster tail and watercress salad. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you did, and we'd quite appreciate if you can also press the like button while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a lovely day.